Well, we here at CBS 11 News have been continuing our coverage of April's Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and tonight we bring you the story of decades of abuse by members of the Catholic Church in villages across our state. Molestation and fear endured by young Alaska Native boys and girls that's finally being brought to the light by a new documentary. CBS 11's Corey Allen Young joins us now in the studio with more of this emotional story. Corey.
Andrea, it's called The Silence. It's a powerful story that just tears at your heart, where young boys and girls in villages on the western coast of Alaska were forced to commit sexual acts, all in the name of God. A terrifying tale of pain and suffering that the victims, who call themselves survivors, are glad to share so they and their communities can begin the process of healing. I want to warn you that what you're about to hear is explicit.
He would ask if we wanted to touch his private area, and he would say he would give us candy or give us a good price.
It's a real-life story of sexual abuse in Alaska.
Father Rendall and Joseph Landowski, they couldn't stop molesting me when they started. It was almost an everyday thing. Father Rendall was telling me that it would make me closer to God.
Decades of molestation of generations of children in villages along the western coast at the hands of respected members of the Catholic Church.
Father Poole would have me sit on his lap, straddling his legs, and we would French kiss for hours. He would tell me that he was my friend and that he was my brother, my father, and my lover.
Suffering that survivors like Elsie Boudreau have held inside all their lives.
I truly, truly believe that there was something wrong with me, to the core of my being.
A cycle of denial, fear, and pain that kept the now grown men and women from talking about their horrible secrets until just a few years ago when they stepped forward together in a lawsuit.
Secrets that were enforced on threat of damnation, of peril to your immortal soul, and maybe there'll be some relief for these long-suffering people.
Relief was a reason why the Silence director, Tom Curran, wanted to share their stories that impacted others.
Their cousins, their relatives, because they're small communities, so it just impacted everybody. And the stories, it was heart-wrenching. I mean, to be that close to it, and you feel it. It's not just something that you hear, you physically feel it.
By showing The Silence here at Bearstooth, it's a first step in not only making the community aware, but also addressing a stigma that affects so many.
Please forgive me and the church for any hurt that has come to you from the church. Thank you.
The healing couldn't start to happen until people started having honest dialogue of what happened.
A dialogue of truth that slowly turned to healing.
It will take generations to heal, if that ever really does take place. We hope and pray it does, but we recognize that we will have to work with people, the survivors, for decades.
I know deep in my being that there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. I did nothing wrong, and that's the hope that I have for victims, for survivors, to get to that point.
Well, The Silence, which was part of PBS's Frontline, will be shown in a special screening tomorrow at the Bearstooth Theater. It begins at 8 p.m. and is about 30 minutes long, after which there will be a discussion between the audience, victims, and experts on the story and how the communities are moving forward. And moving forward, exactly what survivor Elsie Boudreau is doing. She has turned her nightmare of abuse into a positive one, as she works with Alaska Native Justice Center and the Alaska Cares program, working with Native children who have been sexually and physically abused. Andrea.
Just the beginning of the healing process. Thank you so much, Corey. CBS 11's Corey Allen Young.